everybody, this is Dave. Welcome back to Talking Wolves. We're here for a brand new video today, something a little bit different for you. Other than the transfer rumours, this video is all going to be about my top 5 free transfers that Wolves should maybe take a look at signing this summer. As I say, it's all my opinion. I'll let you know if there have been any links with these players, but let me know in the comment section down below who you would sign out of these players, and if you know of any other free transfers that you think Wolves should take a punt on. Make sure you hit the like button down below, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Plenty more transfer gossip and Wolves news coming up on the channel in the coming weeks. But without further ado, let's start off with the first player. So player number 1 is Yacine Brahimi, who is set to leave Porto this summer. The 29-year-old, who's predominantly a left winger, despite not quite fitting Wolves' preferred formation, should definitely be worth a gamble on a free transfer. Can always also play in the middle as an attacking midfield type player, but Brahimi, being a Porto player, obviously has links to Wolves already. He scored 54 goals in 215 league games for Porto with 43 assists, scoring 10 goals this season in the league. Obviously, with Wolves managing managing Porto a couple of years ago, Brahimi was one of the players that was at the club. And as we've seen plenty of times, especially over the last year or so, with different players, Porto players being linked with Wolves, there have been reports that players have had fallouts with Nuno and so on. In particular, Vincent Aboubakar, who we've been linked with, and Moussa Marega, who we've been linked with recently. Even Ruben Neves and Willy Bolly, before they signed, had all apparently had to-dos with Nuno. Brahimi is another one where there are conflicting reports about this again. I would never, anything that I read in the paper now about Nuno and so on, about players having fallouts with them and with him, they've been quashed quite a lot of times. So there have been reports about Brahimi and Nuno having maybe a fallout, but then looking up at it again today, there have been reports about how well they get on and how much they admire each other. So it's definitely one to keep an eye out for. There are other Premier League teams interested in Brahimi. Wolves have had interest in him previously, last year in particular. Nothing really has come up recently, but it'll be an interesting one to keep our eyes on. The next one on my list is Filipe Luis. Now, this is one there has been reports on, the Atletico Madrid fullback. He's set to leave the Spanish club. Now, as I say, at 33 years of age, Luis is set to leave Atletico Madrid. He's been there since 2015, after initially leaving Atleti to join Chelsea in a little stint in England. Despite being in the latter stages of his career, Luis still has plenty to offer. He plays as a left wing back. He can still offer that competition and tutelage, I believe, for the likes of Ruben Vinagre. I've seen people, this one has been reported previously by Goal.com, and a lot of Wolves fans are dubious because they can't quite understand why we'd be going for a third left wing back. But what we can do is move Johnny across to the right. Johnny, who we signed initially, who was playing right wing back for Vigo, have him as Doherty's competition, rotate them between the League Cups, the Europa Leagues, the Premier League, and have Filipe Luis alongside Vinagre as a left wing back. Use him as your tutor for the young left wing back, and that's a pretty simple solution for it. He does have plenty of experience though, Luis. As I say, he boasts a Premier League title with Chelsea and a League Cup with Chelsea, Spanish title, Spanish Cup winner, and a 2-time Europa League winner alongside a Super Cup with Atletico Madrid as well. He's got experience in the Europa League. That's what Wolves are going to need, and again, on a free transfer, definitely worth the risk. Player number 3 is going to be a familiar name as well, Ramires, the ex-Chelsea man, another ex-Chelsea player, similar to Filipe Luis. He's 32 years of age now, and he's just left JS Suning in the Chinese Super League on a free transfer. The Brazilian starred 49 times in China, scoring 11 goals from central midfield. Again, a player in the latter stages of his career, but I feel Ramires could still offer Wolves some good depth, good strength in depth, and which obviously could be a long season for the club as well. Ramires is another one that has won countless titles. He's got a Champions League, Europa League, Premier League, FA Cup, League Cup with Chelsea. He's also won the Portuguese League and League Cup with Benfica. Again, he is slightly older, adds that experience. Believe it or not, when you go on Transfer Market, the website, the top comparable player is our very own João Moutinho as well. So to get an image in your head, that's the sort of player he is. I think he could be a big option. Of course, the midfield three of Moutinho, Neves and Dendoncker have been very, very vital for us, especially the second part of the season. But outside of that, you've got the likes of maybe Gibbs White and Says. Gibbs White, maybe, for me, needs to get more first team football, whether that's with Wolves or elsewhere on loan. But I think, again, we do need to strengthen that area, and Ramires could be a great option on a free transfer. Next up is one that is probably going to cause a little bit of discussion, I suppose. Dani Welbeck, player that is definitely classed. He would definitely be classed as a gamble by Wolves if they were to take him on and make the move on the Englishman. He's actually featured over 125 times for Arsenal since moving there from Manchester United, but has suffered a number of injuries this season, meaning he played just 8 games in the league and 14 games in all competitions. However, last season, the 17-18 season, Welbeck did manage to play 43 games, grabbed a respectable 10 goals, especially playing predominantly as a left winger. However, just under a month ago, we ran a poll over on our Twitter page on Talking Wolves, and talking about which fans would take Welbeck if Wolves were to make the move for it. And not surprisingly, but incredibly, just under 2,000 people voted, and 72% said they would not sign Dani Welbeck. Obviously, there are a few issues here that fans are, fans are going to be questioning. His injury proneness, I think that is a massive issue. We know, though, with Wolves, whether it's been a little bit of good luck over the last 2 years or genuinely we've got one of the best medical teams in the country, we've had little to no injuries. Can we bring Dani Welbeck in, and with our training and our medical, can we fix him up and maybe turn this into a fantastic bargain deal? There's definitely quality there. There's no doubt about it. Dani Welbeck has quality. We've seen that. Without that quality, he wouldn't be playing for Manchester United and Arsenal close to 300 times with both teams combined. Great record for England as well. He's a homegrown player. I think it's a massive gamble, but one that could seriously pay off for Wolves. So that's one maybe to keep your eye on. We have been linked with him. Everton were in the pole position to sign him. I know a lot of people are on about this sort of pay-as-you-play deal. I'm afraid that's sort of more or less illegal in football, I think. But what Wolves can do to sort of combat that is give Dani Welbeck a sort of standard wage, probably a lot lower than what he'd normally get, and then offer him a very high appearance fee, which would mean he's obviously getting a standard wage every week, but then whenever he's actually playing games for Wolves, he's going to get a real chunk of a wage as well. So that is another way we could do it. I think personally, Dani Welbeck would be worth the risk, but obviously it fully depends on Wolves' transfer business for the remainder of the summer. And the final player on my list is probably the most audacious of them all, but it is Dani Alves. As I say, audacious name, but fact, he's the most decorated player in world football. 3 Champions League titles, 6 Spanish League titles, 5 Spanish Cups, 5 Spanish Super Cups, 1 Italian League title, 1 Italian Cup, 2 French League titles, 1 French Cup, 1 French League Cup, 3 FIFA Club World Cups, 2 UEFA Cups, 1 Copa America, 2 Confederation Cups with Brazil, 4 UEFA Super Cups, 2 French Super Cups. We got that out of the way in the end. Despite Dani Alves being 36, I think he's very, very much got something to offer still. Big competition for Matt Doherty. I think Dani Alves, it's been reported that he's waiting for some Premier League offers. He's set to leave PSG this summer, and I think for him now, he's won it all. Obviously, you could see him maybe going to America or over to China for one last big payday, but for him, he's a winner. And I think if for someone like him, with such a big name in world football, Dani Alves, he wants to come to the Premier League and take one final punt to see how he could do it in the English game. And I think Wolves would not be a bad fit for him. It seems ridiculous, it seems surreal, but we've not really been linked with Dani Alves. There have been a couple of clubs linked with him, but I think Wolves should definitely take a punt at him. He's going to be captain in Brazil at the Copa America this summer as well. So that's the sort of level of player we're still talking about here. And I think that would be a big signing. But guys, that's the list. Yacine Brahimi. Ramires, Filipe Luis, Dani, Welbeck and Dani, Alves. Out of those 5 players, who would you pick up on a free transfer? And if there are any other free transfers that you feel have missed out, the Wolves should maybe take a hit on, let me know in the comment section down below. As I say, make sure you hit the like button down below, subscribe to the channel if you're new, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all very, very soon.